Ungarisches Haus in Vienna, which literally translates as Hungarian House, is a typical example of a city domicile that does not make much of an effort to attract others' notice. The structure, on the other hand, has come to be associated with a reputation that is extremely unpleasant and unfavorable. It is reported that Elizabeth Bathory, the notorious Blood Countess, previously resided at this establishment at one point in time. There are a lot of legends that the property may be haunted, since, as you can guess, there are horrible crimes that are supposed to have taken place inside the belly of the structure. As a consequence, the property is said to be haunted. There was a Hungarian noblewoman named Elizabeth Bathory who lived in the 1500s. She became most famous for her role as the Blood Countess and, on occasion, as Countess Dracula. This macabre appellation was bestowed upon her by the alleged commission of a string of heinous atrocities that, to this day, continue to be unparalleled in terms of their level of depravity. She was even given the title of being the most prolific female serial murderer in the annals of recorded history by the Guinness Book of Records. Elizabeth was placed on trial for a variety of crimes, including the murder and torture of hundreds of young ladies from the town that was located in the vicinity of her home. It is reported that she would entice these young women to her castle by promising them a well-paid employment, for which she would then torture them to death in the most heinous of ways. There are rumors that she bathed in blood and even ingested it in order to keep her own young look. Her motivations have been characterized as an insatiable need for blood, which she is said to have swallowed. Despite the fact that these unfathomable acts continue to pique the imagination of a significant number of people, their very existence has been called into doubt. Due to the fact that Elizabeth Bathory was a shrewd, wealthy, and immensely influential lady at an era in which such a thing was unheard of, it is sometimes hypothesized that she may have been framed for these heinous acts. In addition, there were a great number of individuals who, in the event that she passed away, would be in a position to acquire a great deal of authority and fortune. The castle that Elizabeth Bathory owned, known as Cactus Castle, is often considered as being haunted and as the primary location where she committed her heinous crimes. On the other hand, another location that is less questionable has been tied to her alleged criminal activities and has a past that is just as dreadful. One of the places that Elizabeth formerly called home is the Ungarisches Haus, which can be found inside the city of Vienna. It is said that here is the place where she started her homicidal spree of terror, which occurred a long time before she resided her famous Castle of Horrors. It is said that Elizabeth engaged a number of accomplices, and that their task was to entice attractive young ladies from the markets in the surrounding area to come to the Ungarisches Haus. As soon as these young ladies arrived at the residence, where they had anticipated finding a new employment, they were confronted with nothing but murder and suffering. Despite the fact that Elizabeth's actions are often contested, there are persistent allegations that she got a taste for blood in Vienna, specifically inside this building that is now notorious. There have been assertions made by certain individuals that the history of this structure may have left behind traces of agony, torture, and death, to the extent that it is said to be haunted. There is a strong possibility that the souls of Elizabeth's victims may be found inside this structure, assuming that the murders of those individuals did in fact take place.